Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. We're taking a quick look here at BONK. This is a request from one of my community members, Satoshi Sancho. Thank you very much for the request. If you're part of our community, of course, congrats on our awesome profits here from Dog Whiff Hat, 80% from ETH and 49% from Bitcoin. It was a good week for us, but at this point, kind of preparing for more trades, but I'm waiting for the prices to pull back a little bit. Not necessarily on this coin, because this coin looks like it's moving fast. I'm not really interested in trading this coin yet. We'll double check and see. But from a macro perspective, we're going to kind of look at some stronger resistance levels, support ranges, and confluence based on fib levels. Okay, so let's take a quick look here. Before we get started though, please hit the like button, comment below, join us over at Bitunix too, folks. Awesome exchange, excellent reward bonus going on this month until July 25th. Okay, so that's 2 cents. Between 1.9 and 2.1 is that local area of liquidation. It's a little easier to see if we zoom in. And overall, majority liquidation has been swept here. So a lot of the late shorts got hit. This local high has been swept there at about 1.8. So the good chance of us retesting that level or pulling back is high. It looks like we may have already retested that level. We'll look on the charts to see more if that's going to sustain itself or not. And the important thing is to pay attention to volume, which at this point, there's 160 million more longs than shorts in the market with the liquidation delta. This is very good. Most coins are looking pretty poor, and this emphasizes support and continuation potential. Again, if you have open interest below the price, which we can see here, pretty significant amount below, you also have volume and confluence, break above resistance, there's decent probability of further upside. Okay, so let's take a look at the charts and kind of see where we're at here. Let's quickly note a couple things here. First, on the daily time frame, I like to just kind of put some trend lines out here, and we can see there's some resistance here, potential at this, what is it? That'd be 2.4 as a rough estimate. Keep in mind the charts are going to have more decimal points on it depending on the exchange that you're on. It just really depends on the trading pair or exchange, but simply put, 2.4 is that upper area of resistance. Now we look at the larger time frames here, we can recognize we are seeing some really good positivity here. Money flow index is above the RSI, and RSI isn't overextended yet. That's fantastic. That means further upside is higher. The likelihood of continuation upwards is greater. And at this point here, with the volume maintaining itself and having 3 white soldiers and then some, those are very, very good combinations for continuation higher. Now keep in mind, if we take a look here, we do have the 200-day SMA hanging out there at the 0.5 fib level. We may see some resistance here, so a lot of times what will happen is the price pulls back to the local fib and or the most recent high, which we're kind of seeing the price average itself out of that the low 1.8 cent range. This is a good sign here, kind of emphasizing support just below the price action. Okay, once more, open interest reflects that as well here. We have a lot more interest below the price. Okay, so that's good. So the daily time frame is awesome. So does that mean just take a long willy-nilly? No, not necessarily. It does imply that we want to be mindful of this local high here working as a new potential low. So we'll pay attention to that guy here. And once more, I'll post a playout chart here shortly after the analysis, and I'll clean up the charts, of course, to kind of get that for you. But simply put, when we look at the 4-hour time frame, most everything is going to be positive, right? We're still right here at 70 in the RSI. Generally speaking, this is a good take profit consideration. So if you're in heavy profit right now, maybe trim a little bit and consider taking what you invested out and maybe letting the rest ride. Really depends on the kind of trader you are. Me, generally, that's how I like to do so. When I see 70 in the RSI, I kind of come back down there. Now, it's a common pivot point. We could very well see the price continue higher, but just note at this point, depending on how Bitcoin performs, we'll either see this move up or down. I know it sounds crazy because it's moving independent of Bitcoin, but once things start to hit the resistance range, which we're seeing right now, it takes a lot more volume, and it takes traditional markets essentially, or in this case, Bitcoin being the traditional coin, the backbone, to effectively help us continue higher. So the safer play here would be to wait for the price action to come back to this 0.382 fib level and to bounce off of this 1.6, 1.7 range, because that's not only the point of control, but we also have that as a local high. In other words, this is the most recent high. Oftentimes they're retested before the price continues higher. Okay. So all in all, this is looking very solid, a decent continuation play potential here. So if you're going to consider a long position, just obviously make sure that you are not getting too crazy with a position size, but I would say that, minus the potential of a short-term pullback, I do feel Bitcoin is going to pull back a bit further. This 1.6, 1.7 range may be a solid consideration for long. I don't like to take longs or breakout trades very often, so this would be considered a breakout trade if you take one right now. Just know it's inherently more riskier because of the fact that Bitcoin is on its way down, and there's a decent chance we have further continuation lower from Bitcoin. If you're curious about that, watch my Bitcoin analysis from earlier today, but at this point, BONK is looking pretty solid in the overall sense. I'm just going to be a little more conservative and safe and say that you're probably better off waiting for retracement to the local high versus taking a long right now at the breakout that may not be sustainable. Volume is starting to taper off too as well in the last 12 hours. So that is something to be aware of. All right, folks. Hope you have a good rest of the day. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you again soon. Take care.